So yes, I really enjoyed also the theme that was presented, to live your Brahmin life as an art, because I see and I thought it a little bit over, and it really means not only an art but many arts, as we'll see. And so first thing I did, because I was not at all an artist before coming to Baba. I'm still not. I'm an artist in the artistic way. But so I looked for the definition of art online. And what I found was quite interesting, actually, because it said, and I read it now, it said that art is an activity, the product of that activity or the idea of it, which deliberately addresses the senses, the emotions, intuitions, and intelligence. And I felt, well, it's quite interesting, because there are many ways really to express artistic skills, whether they are physical or subtle. It also said that the term art is considered in opposition to nature, in the senses that nature is conceived as a power producing without any reflection. And also it's considered opposite to science, science being conceived as pure knowledge, independent of applications. So that meant for me that art arises from an intention. So it's really something that comes from deep inside when I put something as an art to others. And also that this activity, artistic activity, has no definite practical function. Sometimes it does not serve any aim, but it's really loved because it's beautiful or whatever. Another thing that I found interesting, and well, yes, very important, related to our Brahmin life, is that there are so many ways to be an artist. There are so many different arts possible, like sculpture, architecture, painting, drawing, music, literature, poetry, cinema, fashion, dance, music. So many ways. And that there is no classification of these different arts that is universally accepted. So it means we are all different, we are all number-wise, but there can't be any comparison. And I think this is, for me, what spirituality teaches us, and mainly soul consciousness, that there's no universally accepted classification. We are all different, and we are all unique, and we are all wonderful. So this is, for me, one of the main things that I learned, in fact, in Brahmin life. So how this applies to this Brahmin life is really that each one is unique and has a specific and unique contribution to bring. And I mean, the daddies were wonderful examples of this. They were all so different. They were all so unique. And even as they were coming closer to their karmatic stage, they were still very different. Daddy Janki, for those who met them, Daddy G and Daddy Chandramani, Didi Manmohini, they're all also different. And the two last one who, well, there is also, of course, Daddy Ratan Moini, this wonderful jewel who left us very recently. But I speak of Daddy Janki and Daddy Gulzar. They were all both together so different. And yet they were coming to their perfect stage. And so this certainly demonstrates that each one is absolutely unique, and that Baba needs this diversity. Baba needs each and every one of us, and he needs us to be different. So that, I think it's a part of Baba's revelation to the world that we are different, but that we can feel there's something very special in each one of us. So our life in itself should be a piece of art, let's say, because each one is one of a kind. There's no mold. And as I said, Baba needs this diversity. And I remember in my Brahmin childhood in France, many, many sisters, not only in France, in Europe, were wanting to be like Jayanti Ben. And some were really just like her in their way of speaking and, doing things. So that means that our life is, as Baba wants us to be, inspiring. And speaking of the daddies, I do remember my first encounter with Daddy Prakash Mani, and it was really a very important time in my life because just seeing her, it was in Delhi, when the first time I went to Madhuban. Before Madhuban, I stayed about 10 days in Delhi because there was the Mahayagya, a huge fair. And for that, the Brahma Kumaris had, I think, reserved the whole Red Fort in Delhi. And there were big exhibition, big stalls. And it was really new for me. Everything was completely new. And I heard, Daddyji's coming, Daddyji's coming. So I was wondering, wow, who's Daddyji? I knew already Daddy Janki and Jayanti Ben and Sudesh Ben, but I didn't know who was Daddyji, but she seemed to be very, very important. And so she arrived and she met all of the senior sisters who were there at that time. And I felt, I don't know what, I can't remember exactly. I don't think, well, maybe she talked, but I can't say anything that she said. But what I know is that when she left, I remember sitting in a bus, probably to go to the Red Fort, and I was shedding tears, and I was thinking, oh my God, I want to be like her. It was such an inspiring personality, an inspiring living love and light and beauty. And so I think this is really an example of what life can be and how it can be an art which gives inspiration and hope and courage and really inspiration to change your life, really. So maybe one part of having a life as an art is to just think, when people see me, what do they see? Do they see, I don't know, my fortune, or do they see my effort? It's interesting to wonder. And Baba always said that we are doing service through our faith and our behavior. So this is really something to wonder, to ask myself, does it really happen like that? Because of course, Baba needs this diversity, but what is soul conscious teaching me? And it's really to show the result instead of the work. And often when you look at, if you are like me and don't know anything about art, let's say, when I see abstract painting of modern art, I may have this thought in my head that, well, I could do the same. It seems easy, just particularly if it's abstract. It's just paints and brushes, and you feel maybe I can do the same. But when you have the brushes in your hand and you try, it's not that easy. So maybe our life also should be a bit like this, that when people, anyway, it's part of what is in my mind to make things feel more easy. So if when people see me, they see that I'm following a spiritual path, but it seems easy and enjoyable and light, then they might be more inclined to try. Whereas if they see my labor and my renunciation and all the work that I do, of course, they will probably praise me a lot and say, wow, what you do is great. So maybe my ego might be fed through that, but it's not service, because I have not inspired in them the wish to maybe do the same or follow a similar path. So coming back to this number-wise and all different and no comparison, because it's very important, because I cannot live my life as an art if I don't have a little bit of self-respect. And so assuming that I am different, that I am unique, and that this is okay. And I remembered when I was thinking of the theme, I was remembering a brother from Australia, Brian, who was very close to Charlie at the time, and he was working a lot, being with companies and managers and things like this. And at one point he said to Daddy Junkie, he told us that, he said to Daddy Junkie, you know, Daddy, I don't want to work like that too much. It's too much work, and I'm not, you know, into it as Charlie, brother Charlie. He's surrendered, and I want to be like him. I want to be surrendered. And Daddy Junkie, very cleverly, as usual, said to him, but you know, there's one Charlie and there's one Brian. And Baba needs a Charlie, but he needs only one. And he needs a Brian. So just think it over. And I found that so amazingly true. We have to accept also the part that we play, and to consider and maybe realize the beauty of it and what it adds. And so it's really important for me, in order to lead my life in an, as an art, to really make terms with my own specificity or my own part, even if I'm not really aware of my speciality, but it's okay just to use whatever I am, whatever I have, to use it for service, for myself, for others. And Baba will reveal, drama will reveal what is the art that I'm an expert in, if there is any. But anyway, how Baba can use me, which is quite important, I feel. When I looked for the definition of art, there was something also that was for me quite interesting. It was that beforehand, art was considered as the production by artists to production of objects or whatever that we all more or less agree to be beautiful. But this was beforehand. Maybe it's Kali Yuga going, getting stronger and stronger. But nowadays, it's quite often considered that modern art and contemporary art have sort of abandoned this notion of beautiful, that they maybe feel too small, to more generally seek to challenge or even disturb the observer. Take it for a painting or something. So it's interesting that beautiful or not, and we must always remember that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, as they say. It doesn't matter really if it's beautiful or not, but art speaks to you or touches you even. So it's something that would not leave you indifferent, you see. So there's an intention, and the intention is probably that, to touch the life of the one who is receiving the piece of art. So in the same way, our life, our Brahmin life, should not leave anyone untouched in a way. We are kind of, I don't know if you say this in English, influencers. So to have an influence on others just by our being, not really by our words, because many do that very well. But we're in time now that it's by our face, by our behavior, by our presence, by our vibrations, by the atmosphere that surrounds us, that we can add something to others' life, that we can maybe give hope or courage or a bit of peace or joy. Anyway, whatever is needed. If we have within ourselves a big stock of everything, then our life could be really inspiring others by any of these ways. Maybe just give a sense of belonging, which is quite important nowadays. This is what people need now, really, to feel accepted. And we can do that just by our presence. So it's important. I remember a sentence that I heard a lot in my Brahmin childhood, and we still hear it in Baba's Mulis, of course. And it's that Daddy Janki was telling us quite often this too. It's whatever others will see you do, they will do the same. So really this idea of being inspiring, and it's not only inspiring, but being exemplary. And as I said, Daddy G was really, for me, a wonderful example of that. So if I want my life to be inspiring others, if I want my life to be seen as an art, it means I need dharma, I need virtues, I need good manners, I need to imbibe and express Baba's truth and the quality of yoga that I have with Baba. So this is really dana, and this is why in Vishnu's hand, the fourth one is service. Service comes after dana because it's my way of living which will help others see and perceive the beauty which is inside the soul. So virtues is really something that I feel is so important. And it's interesting. I've always wondered somewhere why in Baba's Mori it's always, well, be so conscious and remember the Father and this and that. And it's something added. And you also need divine virtues as if it came after that. And yeah, it's really the combination of Gyan and yoga which makes me imbibe the virtues and show them in my life. And so we add beauty in our life and in others' lives by showing, demonstrating these virtues in everything we do. And as such, I think we are artists. We are living our life as an art. To do everything we have to do anyway, but do it with love, do it with joy, do it with lightness, do it with flexibility, humility, whatever. All the virtues are, I think it was Mike George who gave that definition once a long time ago, and I liked it, that virtues are, probably comes from Baba, I don't know, but was love in action. Virtues are love in action. And this definitely brings true beauty to all our actions. It adds a special extra something, you know. In French, we speak of a supplement of soul, to bring something from the soul and adds it to everything we do. And it's always interesting because I think we all have this kind of experience. I remember once, during many years, I did temporary jobs. I liked that very much, to work 1 week here, 2 weeks there, and to change many, many times, because then I could see that at the end of my professional life, I really didn't have the feeling that I worked a lot, although I did. But it was so light, because you don't feel the burden changing jobs all the time. It was really a good thing. But anyway, so I was doing temporary jobs, and at one point I was in a company where I stayed maybe a month, and doing administrative work, not really interesting. And maybe 2 years later, a sister Solange, with whom I live in the center for many years, she went to the same company for doing also temporary job for I don't know how many weeks. And after a while, someone said to her, "But it's amazing, because you remind me of another temporary worker. It's amazing, really. We don't look the same. We didn't look the same at all, because I was fair hair, she was dark hair, and we don't have many features in common, but as if they could feel that." And more than that, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, another sister from France, she's actually from Algeria, and so she's more dark hair, dark skin, and we don't look the same at all. And she went to the same company for a temporary job also. And the same thing happened. They told her, "Oh, it's amazing how you remind us of 2 other different workers we had a few years ago." And so she asked for their names, and it was us. And she said, "Oh, yes, but I know them very well. We do meditation together," and this and that. So interesting, as I was saying, we're all different, but there's something common in the vibration, of course, soul consciousness, and the way we perceive truth and live it. So it's people can perceive it, and this is amazing, because this is really what art is. People feel things when seeing that. So I like this kind of story. Art means creation, and we are really creators, particularly now in the confluence age. I am the creator of my eternity, of my own cycle. So this is the life when I regain all my inner beauty, and this, when I'm aware of this, and when I'm living my life with this awareness and this clarity, then there's feeling of contentment and fullness, and it radiates once again. There's an emanation from the soul of this inner contentment, inner strength, and this again is felt by others. And for me, it's as if when I'm fully aware, and when I have this spiritual intoxication, then it's as if the drama unfolds like a red carpet under my feet, and everything's goes into place, and particularly if I have this good positioning, inner positioning, and this positive approach to every situation that drama presents me. So this is also an art, definitely. The
Rani,
art,
sorry, Rani,
yeah,
sorry for interrupting you,
I
but
speak too quickly.
because your video is shaking,
Okay,
can you control it a little bit? A little
okay,
bit, probably. It's not
okay,
that
sorry.
stable, and there is. Well, I just
Okay,
saw the the
okay,
chat.
thank you. Sorry, I didn't look. Okay, so yeah, the art that we, anyway, consciously or not, and deliberately or not, we have to imbibe, and we are trained to imbibe, is the art of navigating the drama, playing with the drama, with the waves and fluctuations and all of this. So this is an art, definitely, to navigate the challenges, the tests, the storms, whether they are outer or inner. And the real art would be to do that with grace and with lightness, just like a dance. So it's possible, but it needs training, as every art. We don't become artists just like that. There's really this idea of work behind what seems apparently easy, but there's a lot of work behind. So there's this rehearsal and this training and training again and again. So that when you are in the situation, you face it, you overcome it as if nothing really happened. And this should be like this inside, which is not so easy. That's why we need this training all the time. And drama and life is great for that, because it offers us many opportunities to see how I do without losing my self-esteem first, my enthusiasm, my courage, and to do that with grace, elegance, and resilience. So it's interesting to check for me. I remember once, long time ago, actually the brother who came from India when I was not a Brahmin, and who came to my house and gave me everything just like that. He told me once, what I like is that when you fluctuate, because there are fluctuations in the drama, and particularly in this birth, but when you fluctuate, uh, your inner or your stage fluctuates, but it does not see, we can't see that you are actually fluctuating. And I think for me, it's always been very important to put things into perspective, that, well, this situation is there, I can't deny, but it's just a situation. And Baba says to us, it's like a cloud and it will go away. So just be patient, just keep the faith, and don't lose your courage, and that will be okay. So this also is perceived by others if we cross and overcome situation apparently easily. Does not mean that it doesn't shake inside. I mean, you might have doubts, but your success is at the end anyway. So it's Russian mountains. I don't know if you say this like this in English, but at the same time, your faith does not shake, because you know that you're on the right path, and there will be tests. So it's important, because this can give courage and hope to others who see you cross those situations. And even more, it can even inspire them in such a way. I think all of you know, or many of you know, Valerian. And when she was a young Brahmin, at one point in Paris, she was stolen. A bag was stolen, and so she had nothing, no identity papers, no money, nothing. And so she went to the police to declare that, and her way of doing this and the way of, very quiet, very calm, the policeman called another policeman to say, come and see, she must have something because she's lost everything and she's quite, light and easy. And that other policeman who was brought to her spoke with Valerian, and 2 days later he was at a conference given by Sister Denise, and he's now a very Paka Brahmin for many years. So this is also the way to really inspire others when you are facing scenes of the drama in an artistic way, I would say. So art also means creativity and newness, because I think artists have that speciality to see things in a different way, from another angle. And maybe it's because they use more the right hemisphere, or I don't know. But anyway, they have this capacity to see things in a very different way. And so that brings newness. And so maybe for us as Brahmins, we have a wonderful life, but a very special one, and we go against the flow. We usually have this metaphor of the salmon going against the current. And so definitely because of this and because of the truth we have that Baba gave us, we have another angle, we have another point of view about everything, because our third eye is open. So it's the eye with which we see things, and we perceive and analyze, or maybe not analyze anyway. But this is the speciality of the Confluence Age, that we are having another point of view because of the soul consciousness. So it's also an invitation to think out of the box, to renew ourselves, to have newness in our way of approaching things, or to express our uniqueness, our originality. And so maybe it can also be used, this speciality be used in our way of listening to Baba's Moli, not only with questions and listen to the answers, but also to converse with the teacher and learn the lessons, but also to listen to the Moli with our heart, with all our antennas out, in order to grasp maybe more subtle things, and to envision all of Baba's treasure in a different way every day, as new treasures. I remember it was on Monday morning, we had Denise Ben in Paris. She was there for 2 days. And when she read the Moli during the class, she spoke of another word for effort, explaining that it's doing things for your own interest. And she spoke about enlightened self-interest, saying that self-interest is also, in this world, is often seen as something selfish, but it's enlightened. So enlightened self-interest. So just this, it's another way of seeing things, and it makes you wonder and ponder and think, and this is good. So voila, it's already 7:08, but well, your time is one more, I think. But apart from all this, life, and particularly Brahmin life, implies so many arts, also in the sense of sort of balances that we have to have in our life, that Gyan and yes, the truth that Baba gives us helps us maintaining these different balances, because I think we all come from different, but from extremes, because we've been through the whole cycle. And so at the end of it, we are completely unbalanced in many, many ways. And we will find the way to go back to the balance, to a balanced stage. And sometimes we come from an extreme, often I would say, from what I saw, to another extreme before finding the right balance. And so, well, there are many different, like I thought of lightness and responsibility, because of what Baba gives us as Gyan, as being trustees. It will be easier for us to be at the same time responsible and assuming our responsibilities, but also not to feel that as a burden, and having the capacity to be light, because well, nothing is mine, and I'm just an instrument. I'm just Baba's trustee, and my responsibility is my own stage. So, and each balance that are needed in our life have the same wisdom behind. You know, like Baba often speaks about being a master and a child. So having the assertiveness to say things with a right and with strength, but at the same time being the child and letting the decision be taken by the whole group, and it doesn't belong to me once again, and having this humility and this learning nature. So, and there are many others, like discipline. This life requires that discipline and freedom. At the same time, to be really obedient to what Baba presents me as truth, and the way to live, and the way to imbibe this truth and to express it, but at the same time being not submissive, and being independent, being sovereign. So these are different balances that we have, and that it's important to have. And once again, it's also perceived by others, so it can be inspiring. There's other balance, like wisdom, experience, and at the same time, enthusiasm. You know, it's not because intoxication, it's spiritual intoxication, but really, even if I'm experienced and I know about things, and I have the discernment, which is necessary, of course, but at the same time, I can be really enthusiastic and wanting newness, and being light. And so same with determination and flexibility. I know what I want, I go there, but I decided in the morning that today I have a day of silence, because it's my effort. But things come in my way, and people come, and I have to speak to them, and I will speak to them. So being flexible and open to what the drama presents me. So all these different aspects for me are the expression of art that I can put in my life. And all of this really is at the same time dharna, because as I said, it's really expressing all the powers and virtues that Baba speaks about to us, but also it's service, because people are seeing us, and so they're not listening to us anymore too much. But yes, they're really seeing us, and I think the more the situations will deteriorate, the more our way of being will be revealed and will reveal Baba, because this is really a revelation. So we can make our life a piece of heart, and Baba tells us, make it like a diamond. So it's something shining, something attractive, something that people cannot not see. So, but at the same time, it has to be transparent so that it's not me that people see, but it's Baba's. I am revealing Baba's image, Baba's light, Baba's love, Baba's power. So it's really, this birth, this life is so special that we go from the lowest to the highest. It's a world of, it's a life of really big transformation. We go from the beggars to princes, as he said, or from thorns to flowers. Beautiful. We are becoming flowers. I like this. So it's definitely a life of an artist. And or we go from caterpillar to butterflies. And the important thing is that I know that I will succeed. We know that we will succeed. So it's a great advantage. We know that, yeah, we will become butterflies. We cannot remain caterpillars. Thing is, we're all number wise, so I can add all the colors and the beauty that I want. There's no limit. The only limits there are the limits that I put to myself. But I have to choose which kind of colors and wings and transparency I will be. But I will definitely be a butterfly, and we're all on the same journey. So this is an art we have in common, but at the same time it's multiform, and it's our choice. So I think I'll stop here and see if there are any comments or questions, or I don't know.
Okay, thank you so much. You just painted a very nice picture with your sharing. There's some questions here on the topic of making spiritual life look easy to others. Sometimes it's anything but easy. Simple, yes, but not always easy. Don't you ever feel like you're deceiving yourself and others by making something difficult seem effortless?
No, I think, I heard and I learned very recently, I didn't know that when we smile, it brings out different chemicals in our body. And whether the smile is fake or spontaneous, genuine, it's the same. For the brain, it's the same. And so it brings about the good feelings that because of these chemicals. So I think it's not fooling anyone, even myself or others, but I shouldn't say it's easy, yes, and I'm really not like that. But I think, or for me it works. I'm sure everyone has his own way to do it, but just to remember, what's this life about? I mean, I found God. That's already one thing very important. I found God, he found me. I love him, he loves me. I'm eternal. This is the best life. I can do whatever I want. So what's important in front of that? To put things into perspective, because the situation may be awful, but I have the capacity with Baba's knowledge and first thing that I'm an eternal being, and this is just a very small part of my eternity. And knowing that my eternity is such that I would like my the times when I'm not so happy, when things feel difficult, to remain as short as possible in time, particularly because I know that it might and it will come back. So maybe this to help, anyway, for me, Gyan, the truth, really helps me extracting myself from the difficulty of the situation. Because nothing is important when I am eternal. So maybe to churn this knowledge, to really imbibe it and make it mine, understanding, because this is the most important thing. And also, of course, my knowledge of God, of Baba, and having a link with him which is unbreakable, and take power, take all that I need to put things into perspective, and not to be overwhelmed by the situation, because no situation is serious compared to eternity. I mean, I know for some it might seem a bit basic and absolute, but really it works.
Very nice. There is another question. Dear Rani, 1 year you have traveled all over the world with Daddy Prakashmani. What did you learn, and how were you specifically inspired at that time?
So it was not a year, it was just maybe 3 weeks, I think, when I went to, it was in 84, and Daddy Kumaka went to the US. And I had asked actually to Daddy Junkie, well, I could travel a bit and go to Australia. And she said, no, go to the US because Daddy G is going. So what I learned, so many things, I was really like absorbing everything. And she did a big tour to different places. And there's one thing that I will share because it really sort of synthesis or give the synthesis of not of all that I learned, but of things that are very important in Dadichi. And it is when she left North America to go to South America, and Giant Iben was touring with her in North America, and Moini Didi now was going to South America. And so Giant Iben gave a class before Daddy G left. It was in Los Angeles. And she said, what's amazing about Daddy G, she's so light, and she was really radiating light. She's so light because, and she's so open to everyone and inclusive, and that's really, she was so unlimited. And she said it's because she knows she has her place in Baba's heart. She knows nobody can take her place, but she knows that Baba's heart is so big that she can put everyone inside. So she's very inclusive and unlimited in her way of being. And whether you are a good Brahmin, or a Brahmin who doesn't make effort, or not Brahmin, no difference for Dadiji. Everyone was Baba's child. And I like that very much. I kept that in my mind because Dadiji is such a wonderful example of self-respect and giving respect to others. She's really Baba. When Baba speaks of her, that's what she said, what he says. And Baba also said that she's the one who gives enthusiasm to others. She always uplifts everyone. So I think this is one of the things that I learned about this tour, and it was really an amazing experience. Yes, and yeah, my first thought was I want to be like her, and she's the perfection for me. She's really very on top. I didn't know in this birth, I didn't know Brahma Baba, I didn't see Mama, but I saw Dali Prakashmani, and yeah, this was really such a fortune. So inspiring.